Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube video. Today I just want to get a little more chatty and talk about how I prepared for my placement. So from my previous two videos, I think I touched a little bit how my current placement was something that I didn't have experience in, which is the Power Platform suite. So for preparation, I actually took time to research into these things, and here's how. So number one, since this is Microsoft and Microsoft is quite good for documenting everything they have, their products through learning courses and even qualifications, it's quite easy just to go on to say Microsoft Learn and look at different courses and have this sort of lowdown on how these different products work. I'm pretty sure there was several introductory courses that didn't even need you to go into products to start figuring stuff out. It was just courses that sort of talked about how these apps work. That way I didn't have to spend money on getting licenses, which is something that would have been quite expensive as well, and also unnecessary, as when I would get into the job then licenses would be provided. So just having that understanding of how things work from Microsoft's own view. Secondly was YouTube. YouTube is so good for tutorials, and I never really believed it per se, because everyone says you can learn everything off of YouTube, and I was like, that's sort of an exaggeration, but honestly it's so true. There are so many people that specialize in so many different aspects. Especially for this, I was quite surprised how many people are incredible at, say for example, Power Apps. Like their whole channel is based about the different functionalities you can make on Power Apps. So it's quite interesting to see the building process of things through these people's eyes. And it was also really good just to pick up a little bit of the functions, say for Power Apps when you're sliding in a component. You then do a little coding just to make that component more functionable. So it's quite interesting to see the different aspects and functions that people were building around it. Now for general. So generally, my university requires 3 pieces of coursework, which are all reports. So the first thing I did was I got a planner. One, because I know this company was quite good for involvement in community, so there was going to be different events that I wanted to keep track of, or different times where I would be going down to Reading or into the Glasgow office that I just wanted to note. So I got a planner / diary. And then I also just found a different application that I would be using for getting all my coursework pieces put together, and which is the same as the one that I was using for my university notes, but then I just made a different vault. So I use Obsidian, which I love because one is quite good for code snippets, and the black is truly black, because I don't like writing on white screen, which is why Notion is a little annoying me until I figure out how I can turn it into dark mode. But Obsidian is just really good for the code snippets. It also uses Markdown, so it's quite good to format everything and then just have your stuff in different folders as well. So I put together one folder for anything that I was going to be posting on LinkedIn, and then I put into 3 different folders for each pieces of coursework. So I would have my plan, my draft, and then my final submission files all within that folder. And that way it's just easier to keep track, and then I also know the process that I went through when I go back. For example, for this 3rd piece of coursework, I can imagine that it'll be quite reflective onto how we've approached different things. So being able to go back and see the plans that I had for report 1 and 2 is just going to be so much easier. Secondly, I made sure I took every opportunity I could before starting my placement to sort of connect with the company and the people that would be also joining the cohort. So I remember we had a little lunch session where we went into the Glasgow office, sort of met our team. For me, I met my line manager who came up from England, and we sort of just had a general lunch. I got a bit more understanding of what the task would be, a bit of an understanding of what the office would look like, and the sort of commute there as well, because it's kind of easy just to research what your commute is, but actually making the commute and having a time to be there is a lot better. That way you can see how long it really takes in actuality, and then you can plan your routine around that. So that was quite a good experience, and I think that's really all I did to prepare, because I say if I had more if there was more knowledge about the people joining beforehand, then I would have been reaching out to them. But that's not always the case unless you find and come across people that have put, say, a LinkedIn update saying I'm incoming in this position. But otherwise, I would say that would be something I would do if for any other opportunity that was going into, just to at least know a bit more about the people coming in as well. Do a bit of research too. Well, that's all from me, and as always, rock on.